After you are finished coloring in your whole artwork using crayon, and you've made sure to press down really hard so that the crayon is thick and waxy and feels kind of smooth, you are ready to go ahead and ink your artwork. Before you get to the inking table, I want you to crumple up your artwork. It's going to feel kind of weird to do this, but you have to crumple your art and squish it really hard. That's going to create like little cracks in the wax, and it'll probably take about 3 or 4 times. You're going to open it up again and then crumple it, and then open it up again and then crumple it. The more you crumple it, the more interesting it's going to look when you paint over it with ink. I could probably crumple it 2 or 3 more times, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with the next step so that you can see what you're going to do. Once I have a lot of interesting cracks created in the wax, I'm going to smooth my artwork out and put it on top of the newspaper. In order to paint it with the ink, you want to dip your brush into the ink and then scrape off the drips on the side. And then I would suggest creating a few dots, kind of like all over the artwork. That way you don't end up with too much ink in one spot. So if you put dots all over your paper, then you can go back and smooth those dots out. You're gonna notice that it's gonna take a while to really get ink all over your artwork. You might have to kind of scrub the ink into your art, and the places where you colored really thick with the crayon will show up, and they will be bright. They will show up bright through the ink. So I would keep painting and smearing that ink into the cracks in the wax of my artwork. When you are finished painting your whole paper, the most important thing you want to do is you want to check for puddles. If there are any puddles of ink on your paper, it's gonna make a big mess when you pick it up. The other thing you want to check for is you want to check and make sure that you got ink all the way to the edge of the paper. That's why we have that newspaper down, is so that you can get ink all the way to the edge. You don't want to have the edges be blank. So once you've painted your whole paper, there aren't any spots that need more ink, then you're ready to bring it to the drying rack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check. I don't see any puddles on my paper, but just to be sure, I'm going to pick it up. If I had any ink dripping off of my paper at this point, I would put my paper right back down. I would get a paper towel and I would dry off my whole piece of artwork. Since I don't have any drips, I would be ready to carry it to the drying rack. Once you put your artwork up in the drying rack, then you can ask your teacher what the next step is in art today.